Greetings, Earthlings. I am your presenter, Cyborg underscore 165. So this is gonna be a little short one. What I seen on DMT. Anyways, but I'm working on this short story from my dreams, future cycles. But I'm trying to figure out how to start it. So, but basically, I'm gonna give you like a little. It's gonna be a great movie, the greatest movie ever. Sci-fi. But it goes like this. It goes like guy and his girlfriend. Okay, they're hanging out. Like this, how it kind of starts to dream. Like he gets off of work. He hangs out with his girlfriend. Everything's like a normal day, like nothing too crazy. They go out. They come back to the place where he stays at, and basically, as soon as they get home, and the book is based in 2010. 2010. This story. So he's goes home, and then as soon as they get out the car and he's holding her hand, boom! A nuclear bomb goes off in Los Angeles, California, and then they just see the big mushroom cloud. They hold each other and they drop to the ground, and then the dream. I mean, the whatever. Then he wakes up, but he's dreaming. So he's dreaming, and he wakes up like, what the fuck? That was weird. Like, so he goes on about his day, and he just does his regular routine. So the story's gonna take place like that, like, and then he goes back to sleep, and then it's the same dream, and so we don't know how many times he's gonna like dream the same dream, but he's gonna go about his daily life. But and then things are gonna start glitching, malfunctioning. Things are gonna start like looking strange, and then this is kind of based on my true story, like sci-fi story plus the little twist that around that time when I was finding out a lot of things too, and so the story goes like that. Like he's like dreaming, right? And he wakes up like, oh shit, it was just a dream, and he just goes about his life, and then he just has the dream again, and then he's like the TV starts not talking to him, but he starts like because it's like part of the MK Ultra stuff too, and so he starts like seeing the channels and on basic cable TV, and they're like just saying like his name, because this one time I was like looking for something, right? So I had just a basic cable channel, so like I was like, it's 2010 or something, and like 9, 10, and I think it was 10, and I was like clicking through the channels. Like first I was doing it fast, and then I waited like 3 seconds. I'll go 1, 2, 3, click. So I would just hear one word from each channel all the way until like 100 channels, and then it said my name, and I was like, what the fuck? But I can't remember like exactly what it said, but it said my name, and I was like, what? That's a trip. So that's when I started realizing a lot of things. So in the dream, I mean in the story, like he's like thinking all these things, right? Like he's seeing it, and then the TV's like talking to him, and he starts seeing glitches in the matrix, you want to call it. So I don't want to. It's gonna be a great story. I mean, in my head, but because I seen it in my dream, but I'm gonna write more to it, to like these things and things I found out now, and it's like a love story, right? But and also a thriller escape, like like movie, kind of like Signals, and it reminded me of that and my dream. But so he keeps having the reoccurring dream, and he's like, why am I dreaming this, you know? And so come to find out later on, like he's in a simulation, like he's in a simulation, right? Like in 2010 there was a nuclear explosion in the dream world, right? Like he thinks it's a dream, but the world ended, like in that time the world ended in 2010 when I had this dream, and he thinks it's a dream, but it actually happened in reality, right? But these alien civilizations are so advanced that they came after the nuclear explosion. They came and they basically created a simulation, recreated everything from that time, from that explosion, and he's been living in a simulated reality, like a hollow deck, synthetic reality, because these aliens have super technologies that they can scan and clone entire cities down to like the plumbing and in the ground and stuff. They create replica cities from things I found out. So I'm putting like that kind of knowledge into my sci-fi stories. So, like he breaks up with the girl, but she's still in the back of his mind. But at that time, they 2010 ended, but he's been on a different timeline, but in a synthetic reality, which is this reality. So that's like a little concept of this book I'm trying to write. It starts like this: future cycles, and so that's like kind of like the plot twist that they find out, like, because not everybody had the dream, right? Not everybody knew, but there's like a handful of people that did have the dream and that are slowly waking up, that they're in a simulation and their planet, well, their time ended in 2010, but since everybody was cloned and scanned because they had backup files and stuff like that, so they reanimated the whole situation. But so he wakes up that day when he got home in the dream, when he woke up, because I had this dream, right? So like I'm just trying to make up this story, but so when I wake up, this person wakes up in my book. The nuclear explosion happened, but they uploaded him with the dream and waking up like, oh, what the fuck, like those movies where you wake up like, oh shit, what the fuck happened? It was just a dream. But then later on he finds out it's not a dream, and it really happened, and he's just a synthetic clone, a carbon copy of the past, So we're gonna find out, and then it's gonna lead up to like this, and then so they find out the aliens clone the whole, like, that portion of the planet, or to like simulate. We're trying to figure out to like stop it or to expand the consciousness of humans, or try to stop it or try to learn from it, and that, or they just cloned everybody and recreated the population because they had to. Well, there was like, like they wanted to create us, so something like that, towards those lines. I was thinking about it yesterday, like trying to like put that dream into, like, write it like into a whole like book movie. But yeah, I was watching this video today, the FedNow, basically time is running out with, so it's about to be like all digital. But that's also I wrote this story like in 2013 of Cashless Society too, but it was not like, I wrote my own little part into it, but around that same time, a lot of people were I think when Bitcoin was created, around that time, I think everybody was just feeling it in their mind, and like people knew this was gonna happen, like people that were in tune with what's going on. And I'll present that story. I have it somewhere in all my books, but I have like a little short story. And yeah, so this guy, Greg something, I don't want to butcher his name, but he just like, yeah, he's very smart too. And I'm not saying that I'm like very smart, but like, yeah, we're going into the Fed now, and they say like last year, okay, when China and Dubai and Russia and all these people like were like creating cryptocurrencies, And that's what I read last year too. Yeah, and I should have been sharing all this shit too, but excuse my language. I just I know people find out information different ways, but um, yeah, I read this whole article how the feds they were gonna stop printing money slowly, and they're gonna work on the digital reserve at the reserve whatever wherever it's at, Fort Knox or something. But I was thinking, what, they're gonna put a bunch of like crypto mining computers, and instead of printing money, actually, they're gonna replace everything. In my mind, I'm picturing, So we don't have that much time, and soon, they're gonna monitor everything we buy. They're gonna like ban us from buying certain things because it's gonna be like the credit report, health report, just like they do in China. And if you like reading and stuff like that, I'm sure people that know about this stuff know what's happening in these communist countries. And and I feel like we can't stop it, but we gotta use it to our advantage, right? Like, they're gonna do it regardless. Like, the way I see it, they're gonna set it up, and the way they set up Bitcoin, I think it was like an inside job too, like a CIA job kind of thing, tactic, like kind of the things they use. They say it was like a natural movement, but they're not really natural unless it's like everybody's thinking the same thing in the government. It was gonna happen, and they had to create Bitcoin, like the good people, because all these things were gonna happen, right? So they created it ahead of time, so when the U.S. gets into it, they already have like their set currencies, and then the U.S. and then every other country. But I think the crypto is going to be like different cryptos for different things, and then I think like underdeveloped countries and cities and whatever parts of the world are still going to just trade regular like cash, gold. Gold is going to come back into circulation. It already is. People are doing it, and as they say, invest in metals and stuff like that, because it's more substantial. Like it's physical. You can touch it. Like the digital, you're not going to be able to see it. You're going to see the numbers, but you're not going to touch it. But it's all going to lead to like leaving this planet, and they showed in the movies too, like Guardians of the Galaxy, they're paying with like units and fucking tokens and all this stuff. So it's like in your mind is like they're showing us ahead of time like how things are going to be done, and how Elon is trying to go to Mars, and like he don't want to carry cash, so they're gonna have to like, that's why he created his cryptocurrencies and all these things. So like 15-20 years from now, when people are like leaving the planet and traveling to other planets, and then when they're more open to like different alien species without being like so scared and like so like, oh my god, but these beings are more, their brain capacities are more advanced. They can hypnotize us, they can do so much things, but you know what I'm saying, like we have technology to block some of the frequencies, but regardless, I think if the Federation pack comes to a conclusion where they be like, okay, we're gonna meet and we're gonna like create this coalition, but first Earth needs to be destroyed. I think like they need to create a destructive force where they're gonna like create unity, like a false unity, like they're gonna force people into like submission, like, oh, we gotta get the crypto, we gotta like do the universal healthcare, the universal allowance, and then it's like in my mind it's like, yeah, like it's like leading to like leaving the planet. And then the Hopi prophecy has said it, like they build islands in the sky, and that's like things that I've seen on documentaries. I've seen Eric von Braun, like they build a whole Halo sphere, like a whole like Halo the video game. And I think like, yeah, Halo and Xbox and all this shit, like they fucking know what's up. Like they build a ring, like this is like plans from like 1930-40. My ears ringing, but they say your brain's shrinking. But anyways, Like they build a whole civilization in the rings, like you seen that movie, and just like Elysium, and it's all freaking real. It's all like real. And then I'm thinking like, what about Earth if it's like a sphere, like a like they build the rings, right, and you build the center, the core, right, the fucking rail, and so you build the inner sun, you trap it how they're trying to trap the Dyson sphere and all this stuff, and I'm like, how about like, yeah, that's like kind of real, or they create like a planet, synthetic or whatever planet, where like you create an inner like atom, like creating energy, and then the outside you create, you know, like it gets energy, feeds the energy, and then it creates organic matter and it pushes it out into the dirt, the soil. It creates moisture, oxygen, like it creates everything. Basically, the nucleus creates this whole civilization, right? And then like these start building rings, these start building other rings to encapsulate it, right? Like the Dyson sphere. I'm sure people who have heard of that. And but that's like stuff that they've been working on for like hundreds of years now. It's like another 20, I think, when Paperclip and Von Braun and all these people, they're almost like going on 100 years. So I think these people like build these things and then they left planet Earth, like how they say the off colonies, and I think it happened. And I also wanted to work on a little short sci-fi story with the Phoenix Lights, with the triangle disc, and some other triangle discs are flying around right here at these military bases. But I was like thinking like, what if like, because Lockheed Martin's over there and those places where they build like super top tech. So what about like in 1997, like these Air Force people, these like whatever, super like intelligent people were leaving the planet, right? Like they were like going to travel the universe, and they were just basically like, I want to make a short sci-fi story like that too, like the Phoenix Lights, like people in that area, and special agents and people, CIA, whatever, FBI, like different types of people that got recruited and left the planet around that time, and they took off, and that's what I see in my head, like, because like they try to act like, oh, it's a space, but it looks like a mothership, like that's like, it was just like saying its last goodbye. It's like, say it was like a story like that, like we're like, oh, so and so, and then you get a special page or a beep, they get a phone call, they get a thing, they're like, it's time, and then they're like, oh, we gotta go, we gotta pack, and then say families from all over the world, special like top-notch people, like suddenly disappear, and like all these people like just vanish, right? Well, they don't vanish, but they go to their like docking stations all over the world, and they say they go to all over the world. They can fly by helicopter, or we can say in the sci-fi story, they teleport to the spaceship. But no, that sounds like too dramatic. So we'll just say they take special trains. Okay, we'll say they take special trains underground in these locations that connect all over the world, right? So because we know that exists supposedly. So they go all over the world. They shoot to Arizona, and then they all meet up. They all start departing. But these people signed up. They knew what they signed up, because these people were very, very, very smart, and they went. They elevated their social status, so they came in contact with these people, and they were recruiting people to leave to explore the solar system, right? So that was basically like a farewell. Like they were leaving, and they took off. And because I'm like, why do you keep seeing triangle spaceships, and they keep coming around? They can't come out around the same area, so they're obviously making them, and they're like, now they have like smaller ones and stuff like that. But also, I'll share a story with you in like 1995 or 6. It was like when it was like gonna be a meteor shower, and supposedly it was coming from like the moons of Titan, and that planet that's like a little Earth and stuff. And I always thought, like, imagine those people are like little people, like little Earth people, or like some kind of like, But and they have like videos and like satellite images, but why can't they don't even share these things with us? So, anyways, but yeah, like supposedly it was coming from that region, the meteor shower, and so me and like this kid, we went to go outside my house, the place we're staying at, and we're like, oh, let's look at the sky, and we're just like looking, and then suddenly, boom, like it's so fast, like that's how fast it was. I can see, but it was like a triangle little android spaceship. It was like literally, it had to been like this big, because I mean it was only like a story high, like a story and a half, and it was like a triangle, and it had a little red light underneath, and it just went so fast, like it went phew, and it didn't even make a sound. I mean, it didn't even do that, and it goes phew, but so, and then we're like, oh shit, did he see that? Did he see that? And like we just like whatever, like it was just that was it, and but I live like right next to a military base too, Air Force Base. So a lot of things been going on around here too, in the dream world and in physical reality. But yeah, so that's what happened, and but it reminded me of like right now I just lost it, but that happened. That so imagine that's like a little sci-fi story. The Phoenix one, the Phoenix Lights. I want to work on a book like that. Like it's just like a sci-fi, and create that thing, and then see where it goes from there. But I, put it out into existence. But I wanted to say that, and yeah. So, oh yeah, you got to see that movie Elysium, and look up Von Braun. I had like a lot of screenshots of like 2-3 years ago when I seen that documentary, but I should have been saving these documentaries and put them on my playlist. But like I'm not that computer savvy, so I'm barely like looking at my phone. I was like, oh shit, I could do all this. So yeah, I seen that like in the early 90s, but also when I got abducted, like the UFO I seen was like more like this circular. But I still don't want to share that story. I mean, I've written it in a lot of channels, but I really want to like be more like thorough with when I present it, and I want to walk around too, like show you like what I was doing. But yeah, that's like true. So I mean, as far as in my mind it is, but so that's, if you don't know about a Dyson sphere, look it up. Look up Von Braun. Look up the things they were creating. Look up Halo. Obviously, it's like that game, but there's like a whole civilization in there, and that shit is real. And if you look up the Hopi prophecy, I just seen it the other day too, and I was like, what? And it reminded me of this dream I had, and I shared it on the channel. No, did I? Yeah, kind of. But and then, it reminded me of my dream I had about this like celestial ring, like infinity ring, came, and I don't want to get too detailed, but because I'm still working on like books and short stories and sci-fi stories, but I don't know if they'll ever go anywhere, and like who knows, and but I feel like they're already hearing us, so they already know, and they can hear my mind too, because oh yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, because like the other day, like 3 weeks ago or 2, I was just thinking about something. I kept thinking, and then like boom, like it popped up on the phone, and then I'm like, damn, they already put the technology. But I knew like 10 years ago too, like they were like putting information in our head, and they were also scanning our head, our mind, and our brain. mapping our brain, our mapping of our brains and brain activity. Because there was the movie The Dark Knight, and it kind of like went into that echolocation, the stuff that China was working on too, like that, like basically like shows like everything without even taking a picture. So I'm like, just imagine, like, that's what got in my head too. I was like, at that time I was like, dang, then they're like hearing our thoughts too and everything. But they already knew shit like that too, since back in the days, But now these brain frequency things, they're like super like sending information, and I feel it all the time too. And I need to buy those hats, those things, and to prevent the frequencies. And but if you feel like thoughts that are not yours, they're most likely not yours, and you just gotta pray and give it to the I am Almighty, creator of my reality. So yeah, be careful. Like, I need to get off as I've been like, just, I want to say, addicted to like looking at information. Like, I'm just like all these channels, like especially if they're good, like detailed, but it's like the same stuff over and over kind of. But I like it because I start memorizing it, then I start like having visions or dreams, or like I start seeing these images, or like, when you read and you start imagining all these things, like, so you're seeing it. So like these channels, like, they say it's real, like you see the images, they're real images, it's being created. I don't know. So I was gonna make a short video, but that's kind of why I get off get off my mind, I guess, real quick, and try to work on this book that I told you guys about, and then the Phoenix Lights book and short story. There's so much short stories. Outside, like when I really used to write back, well, like I would have one of these or something like the bigger one, and I would write like on my breaks or something, or like I'll just think like, and I'll be like, because I don't do it on my phone because I know they're already like watching everything, so they can take your ideas. You can take my ideas straight from my head, but whatever. I would like to see a good movie about the Phoenix Lights, kind of like 2012, but instead of them making the arc of the boat, you make the arc of the universe. Arc of the universe. And then you'll call it the Seventh League of Lights. The frequencies, the light crystals, light beams, I don't know. So that's about it, and I gotta start getting ready. So yeah, go watch ECDM, look up Von Braun and all the crazy cool things he created that they say never got funded, never happened, but they probably happened, but we didn't see it. We seen them when they were leaving, and when they're up there, and then they're just like, look at them. They're still wondering, but they're all working together. So, and if they created these things, then they're not in the visible eye, or unless they have the cloaking technology, and they're like, well, which they do, and they're probably just right above us right here, just like in the Edge of Tomorrow, no, Tomorrowland. That was like a really like sublime movie too, with fucking George Clooney and Disney. Well, the dimensions. So a lot of things going on, and they could be, they've been like right in front of us, but we can't see them, just like ghosts. And then some people could see the ghosts, and then some people can't, and then some people could see aliens, some people can't. It just depends, how your brain waves are, I guess, and what you're open to. But just stay awake, stay open, stay learning, try to learn, try to do something. But I'm not the smartest person, and I am I am. I am. Om. I am. Om. I need to get the mantra book so I can learn more mantras. I kind of know these, and then Kamehameha sounds. So I was like, I want to do a video about my sounds and like the ahs and the ums and the ums and the hum. And when I used to go hiking and I used to scream my lungs out there, I want to show you guys something like that, like how to hold it and just. And I feel like it does give you like strength, like when you go what these say, you know, they're like super meditation techniques, like frequencies and sounds and how you heal your like stuff, your DNA and blah 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 blah. But yeah, I'm just talking because I'm talking. I'm talking because I'm talking about talkies. So I'm just like some of this, just showing you these little sometimes shopping with the peoples, the beautiful people. So yeah, so before I end this, I seen this on DMT. Android, he was like all black and he was all beep 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 beep. That's all, folks. So that's like a whole nother story too, because I was like, yo, DMT, androids, higher consciousness, like they're freaking just androids or what? Uploads. All right, I got to go, and thank you guys for watching. Hit the subscribe-y, hit the dislike-y, the like-y, whatever. But if you'd like to support these sci-fi stories and really want to hear more, let me know, because I got like so much. And then there's like all these other dreams I've been like not writing, but they're up here, and then but I should write them there and then because it's fresh. And there's just one. It was weird, but it was like, I was just weird. But he was like an inhalation. It was like an android, like man. Like he was like, but he was like a ball. But it was like a bomb. He was like a bomb, and then like the more you hit him, like a kinetic bomb, just like Black Panther and stuff. And the more you hit him, he got bigger. And we're trying to get away from him. He's just trying to blow up in our face, you know. And basically, we go up this building. It's like a big building, and I'm like with this person, and we're like trying to get away from him. But we basically like shoot him somehow, or like throw him down. And he already got to the maximum point where he was about to blow up and annihilate. So we pushed him, and then he fell down the building, and then as soon as he hit the ground, he fucking blew up. Boom! And it was like a blue energy beam, and it just like rocked the whole building, kind of destroyed it. But we're going down the emergency thing. That was a whole different dream too. But in the dream, it was exactly what they said it was, like what it was called. It was like an inhalation something drone or something. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I don't know. But that was just another story. All right. Peace. Take care. Stay sci-fi.